Hi and welcome to our module of Alteryx 103 provided by the Information Lab and Data School's Alteryx Data Skills training course. My name is Dan Bergilio and thank you for clicking on this video. I look forward to us learning about Alteryx together. In this module you will learn how to transform data using Alteryx. We'll be covering how we can reshape and restructure our data to better suit our needs. You can watch this module as a standalone training video or as part of our wider Alteryx Data Skills series. And if you find this training useful and would like us to help you and your team make sense of your business data, feel free to reach out to us at info@theinformationlab.co.uk, and you can also check out the description for links to this module's training materials and also for other useful links that will help you level up your data skills. And lastly, please remember to click subscribe so you can be the first to know about our new videos. Okay, let's jump right in and get started. Today's dataset concerns diversity data for various different Fortune 500 companies. We'll also be looking to integrate two other datasets to enhance our analysis. Firstly, we'll begin by dragging on a filter tool, connecting it to our dataset, and on the data available column, data available equals Y, and this means we'll only receive the relevant rows for our analysis and our eventual question, which is what is the female percentage representation in Fortune 500 companies? So let's hit run, and as you can see, we initially started with 500 records, and we've narrowed it down to 16 records. Next, we'll be making use of the autofield tool. As our imported file is a CSV, it carries no metadata, and therefore every single field is by default a string field. The autofield will select every single string field and determine which data type is most suitable for the values within that column. So if we hit run, and Alteryx has now allocated a data type to each column. Next, we'll be making use of the select field to rename two columns to more appropriate columns. So the top field here, F500 2017 rank, we simply rename to 2017 rank, and the name column we will change to company. Hit run, you can confirm they've been successfully changed. Our next step will involve some transformation to our data, and we'll be doing this using the Transpose tool, which we'll drag onto the workflow. So the transpose pivots the data so the key columns remain the same. Column headers become values under the name column, whilst their metrics go under the value column. And our key columns in this case will be 2017 rank, all the way through to payroll end. And as you can see, as I select a key column, it is deselected in the data columns section here. And let's hit run. So as you can see, we started with 212 columns, and in our output, it's gone all the way down to 10 fields. The 10 we have selected here to remain as our key columns. So we've reshaped the data, so instead of being wide, it's a lot more narrow with more rows. So next we'll be making use of a find and replace tool to bring in our data dictionary, and to make more sense of this column here, the name column. Currently it's a bit ambiguous, and it's hard for the user to tell the sort of information that we should be gleaning from this field. If we drag find and replace onto our workflow, connect the top of our workflow onto the F anchor and our data dictionary that we've applied some cleaning steps, some very basic cleaning steps here, onto the replace anchor, and our configuration is as follows. We'd like to find the entire field. Within the field we'd like to find name, and we'd like to find value name also. We'd like to append these fields to department, ethnicity and sex, and if we hit run, we go over to the output anchor, you can see they've been appended successfully. So this column here that doesn't mean too much to the user, we now have all this information here by bringing in the data dictionary and making use of the find and replace tool. Next we'll be making use of a basic filter. So if we drag filter onto our canvas, connect it, and since not all rows of our data were affected by the find and replace tool, these are still brought through. So we can use this filter to shape our data further and remove these null rows. So basic filter, department is not null, and if we hit run, we've cut it from about 3,264 records to 2,688. Next we'll be making use of a crosstab tool to restructure our table once again. If we drag crosstab onto our true output, we'd like to group data by all our values bar name, value and sex. We'd like to change column headers for sex, and values will be our value field. Our method for aggregating values, we have to at least select one. We'd like to select concatenate, and if we hit run, our output anchor, we can see we've cut down the records again from 2,688 to 1,344, and we've reshaped the data, so we've lost one field. Next we'll be making use of the data cleansing tool to modify our company field and to remove the punctuation that's present in some of the values in that column. So if we select fields to cleanse, press company, we'd like to remove all punctuation and modify case, so it is a title case, meaning every first letter of each word is capitalized. And if we hit run, we go to the output anchor, you can see all the punctuation has been removed. Next, we'll be bringing in a third dataset to provide additional context to each company. So we drag a join tool onto our canvas, join to the left and right anchors. Again, I've made some very basic cleaning steps here in this container. We'll be joining on the common field of company, and it'll be an inner join, so any unmatched records won't be brought through. So if we hit run, we check the J anchor. It's got 1,260 records that have successfully matched on the company field. We'll check our left and right join. We've got 84 records unmatched there, and 985 records unmatched. Now that we've brought in additional data sets and prepared our data, we are ready to begin selecting the metrics for analysis to answer the question, what is the gender representation in these companies within our dataset? To do this, we'll bring in a select tool and begin selecting metrics. So the relevant metrics for this question will be company, data URL, diversity PG URL, as well as department, ethnicity, female, male. And for these two columns here, female and male, we will convert them from a string into a numeric format, which will be a double. We'll also select the sector column, the city column, state, and CEO women. And if we hit run, we've got 11 fields at the end of our select tool. So next we'll be making use of a summarize tool to answer our question of what is the gender representation in these companies. So we drag a summarize tool into the container, and the container resizes to house the new tool. And if we connect these two tools together, the configuration is as follows. So we'll be grouping by company, by sector, by city, by state, by data URL, diversity PG URL, CEO women, and lastly department. I'll be looking to sum these two numeric columns here, female and male, and let's hit run. Let's check the output anchor. So as you can see, we've aggregated our records down to 180, and we have the amounts for the employees here. Next, we'll make use of the filter tool to return us rows that show us the total and previous year total data, so we can understand the year-on-year change. So we'll configure our filter as follows. Another basic filter on department contains, this is an all uppercase, total. And if we hit run, we'll aggregate our rows further down. So we have 30 records for the totals. To calculate the percentage of female representation in the companies in our dataset, we'll be using the formula tool dragged onto the true anchor. We'll create a new column called female percentage representation, and our expression will be as follows: sum of female over, in brackets, sum female plus sum male, close brackets, times 100. We'll hit run. And as you can see, we've got a new column showing female percentage representation. Finally, we'll be making one last transformation to our data with a cross-tab tool. We'll be selecting these fields here. We'll be changing the column headers for department, and our values will come from the female percentage representation column. Our method for aggregating values will be concatenate. We'll hit run. For each company, we can scroll along and see the current total and the previous year total. The last thing we will do is use the select tool to rename these columns. So current total, previous year total. We'll hit run. If we go over to our output anchor, there's the current total and there's the previous year total readily available to the user. So our next and final step is to output the data. So we'll drag on our output tool and set up a connection. I'll be choosing the YXDB file format. Select an appropriate name. Female percentage representation in Fortune 500 companies. Press save, and then when we press run, that will be saved onto our hard drive or wherever you've selected to save it to. Thank you for watching this module. It's been great teaching you. In this module, we covered why we might want to reshape our data and how to restructure our data within Alteryx. And if you want to continue with the Alteryx Data Skills training series, the next module is Alteryx 104, which you can jump straight to by clicking on the next video thumbnail on our right. And if you'd like us to help you and your team boost your data skills, please reach out to us at info@theinformationlab.co.uk. Thank you for watching.